We can all benefit from proverbs from our elders. Africa is the birthplace of human civilization and home to some of the most ancient wisdom on the planet. The continent of Africa is an extremely culturally rich region and home to over 2,000 languages, 3,000 ethnic groups, and numerous belief systems. The Book of African Proverbs and Wisdom, Volume 1, from author J.P. Martin, available on Amazon, is a compilation of over 100 ancient proverbs and words of wisdom from the continent of Africa. This must-read book provides a diverse and expansive collection of timeless, wise sayings and knowledge which have been collected from every region of Africa. This book is perfect for anyone interested in learning more about the African culture and expanding their knowledge of human experience. Order your copy right now on Amazon. The Book of African Proverbs and Wisdom, Volume 1, from author J.P. Martin. Go to Amazon.com and get your copy today.
Learn the ins and outs of IT and launch your IT career in just a matter of weeks with the help of Lifting the Veil IT Academy.
I took Lifting the Veil Academy with subs. Took a while, but I'm here. I made it. I'm now an SSRS developer. I started on the 13th, making a rate of $48 an hour.
Sign up for a free consultation and see where this industry could take you.
To learn more, go to www.ltvacademy.com. That's www.ltvacademy.com.
Alexis here, coming to you with an awesome sale of 25% off when you use promo code OHURU25 at alexisfowler.com.
I provide services like digital art, logo designs, packaging designs, web designs, social media flyers, and much more. If you're an entrepreneur with a business or a startup company, make sure you take advantage of this opportunity.
Getting 25% off when you use promo code OHURU25 at alexisfowler.com.
Peace, family. I hope all is well. I hope your Mother's Day is going well. Shout out to all the mothers out there. Again, shout out to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. Do you guys like my Patrice Lumumba shirt? Like the Tupac Lumumba shirt? Y'all like that? Go get it from, hold on 1 second. What's the name of the company? Hold on. Guys, please forgive me. Personal Advisory. I'm sorry. I had a brain fart. Personal Advisory. Guys, go to Personal. No, that's not it. Hold on. Yeah, Personal Advisory. My bad, guys. I had a brain fart. Go and check out Personal Advisory and grab your shirt. They didn't upgraded the website and everything. So go to Personal Advisory and grab a shirt. You know, I got mine. You know, this is the Tupac Lumumba shirt. Again, it's personaladvisory.com. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for joining. It really means a lot. You know, I love y'all. I love my peoples. You know, I love my peoples. I love you guys. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe to the content. If you're watching this, you're just passing through. Again, when you watch this and you're just passing through, and if shout out to Juanita in the chat room, everybody, and you're just passing through and you're watching this, yo, do me a favor. Just hit the subscription button. Just hit the subscription button. That's all. And hit the notification bell. That's all I ask for. Couple of announcements. So we're rolling to Sierra Leone. No, I'm sorry. We're rolling to Senegal. We are rolling to Senegal on Sunday. Next Sunday, we are rolling to Senegal. And listen, if you want to roll to Senegal with us, or if you're like a last minute person, you're like, you know what, listen, I want to roll to Senegal. Again, I want to roll to Senegal and have a good time. We're leaving on Sunday. So go to danfo.africa. That's DANFO.Africa. Again, that's DANFO.Africa. Go to danfo.africa Africa to learn more. Again, please visit Danfo, DANFO Africa to learn more. And guys, we're going to get into today's topic here in a second. But again, this is what Black folks voted for. This is what Black folks voted for. This is what y'all voted for. This is what y'all chose. So I don't understand why folks is upset now. Like, I don't understand why people are upset. This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. So, anyways, that's none of my business. That's none of my business. Well, it is my business because I just made it my business because we're going to talk about it today. So go to danfo.africa, danfo.africa. Again, please visit danfo.africa. Also, we're rolling to Nigeria, August 6th to the 15th. August 6th to the 15th, we're rolling to Nigeria. And then we're rolling to Zanzibar, November 12th to the 21st. November 12th to the 21st. Again, please visit danfo.africa to learn more. Let's jump into today's topic. All right, let's jump to today's topic. Black folks in Chicago. Again, Black folks in Chicago are kind of upset. They're kind of upset. Again, they're kind of upset. But, you know, it's like, listen, you're upset over the you're upset over the immigrant issue, but this is what you voted for. Now, why are you mad? Here we go. Let's jump into today. What is this? Hold on. Hold on, guys. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Black folks in Chicago are upset. Guys, we gotta play the commercial first.
For rail safety, whether you're walking or driving, limit your technology use and distractions. Respect the rails, and they will too.
Fiery exchanges at a community meeting in South Shore as residents are calling on the city to stop its plan to move migrants into a former school. This comes as the city is struggling to house hundreds of asylum seekers arriving in Chicago, with many more currently sleeping at police stations. City officials hosted a community meeting in South Shore Thursday to hear from residents. Reporter Joanna Hernandez was there and tells us more. Joanna?
Alex, it was a sold-out event and people had a lot to say. There was tension as city officials tried to lay out their plan. Now, dozens of residents lined up to ask questions about their concerns and frustration surrounding the possibility of having migrants move to their community. The meeting was held at a newer school around the corner from the shuttered South Shore High School, which the city plans to turn into a respite center. According to officials, the goal is to use the first floor of the former high school, giving 500 asylum seekers a space to stay temporarily as the city finds more permanent shelter for the migrants.
This is a facility as a temporary holding place in order for them to actually seek a shelter bed. Now, what that means, though, is it is a chair for them to sit, a place to decompress, and a place to take a hot shower. It's a place to decompress and not be in a police district. When it comes to other services beyond that, it's just very temporary for these folks.
Residents at the meeting say they're concerned about safety and the time.
I mean, I guarantee you the majority of these Black folks voted Democrat. Again, I guarantee you the majority of these Black folks here in the crowd voted Democrat. So this is what you voted for. Joe Biden said his priorities were the LGBTQ community and immigration. That's what he told you, not Black people. Not Black people. Black people just got to take this L. This is what you guys voted for. So why are you complaining now? Why are you complaining that they're putting immigrants first? when that's what they told you they were going to do? Why? Why are you complaining? This is what y'all voted for. So Lumumba, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room here in about 10 minutes. Give me like 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, I don't feel sorry. This is what y'all voted for. I don't feel sorry for them at all. This is what I mean. What do you want to do? What do you really want? The politicians who you voted in, who said that they're gonna put immigrants first. What do you want? What do you want them to do? You voted for them. Yeah, it's done. It's a wrap. It's done. It's done. It's over. Let them move in. Let them take over the high school. I'm not mad. I'm sorry. I was muted. I'm not gonna put that energy out there. But again, this is what black people voted for. Took your booty. Hold on. After this, I'm gonna play the video. Took your booty to the polls. No voting, no vucking. This is what you guys voted for.
Timeline of the city's plan. As of recently, the building has been occupied as a training center for the police and fire departments. We're told the community has been pushing for years to have the property become a communal hub. One attendee addressed having empathy for the migrants, but wanted to know more about summer programs and partnerships the city has for those asylum seekers.
On the daily basis, we lack resources. There has been disinvestment in this community in general when it comes to summer programs.
You're too late. See, now black folks are talking about how they ain't invested in the community and, the summer programs. Nah. Listen, it's over. I'm not laughing. I promise you, I'm not laughing. But this is what you guys voted for. Now all of a sudden you want to talk the community talk and the programs, and they took home ec and shop out of the schools. When these politicians told you guys, they told you guys that they're going to choose their priority was immigration in the LGBTQ community, not your programs in the black community. That's what they told you guys were the priorities. All right, you have rappers like Ice Cube. I keep bringing this up. I know I sound like a broken record. Ice Cube said, listen, let's see what we could get for our vote. You want to know what black folks told Ice Cube? Shut up. Donald Trump, I don't care what you say about him. And Donald Trump, he even said, listen, what you guys got to lose? What does the black community have to lose? I got $500 billion for y'all. What y'all want to do? What you guys got to lose? You want to know what we told the black community? You want to know what we told Donald Trump? Do you want to know what we told Donald Trump? You're a mean man on Twitter. So this is what you voted for. So y'all got to suck this shit. I'm sorry, excuse my language. Y'all got to suck this shit up. Y'all got to suck this shit up. This is what you voted for. Now we want to talk about the lack of the lack of services and summer programs. Man.
Mental health programs, college and career programs, and all of the things that I listed before. And so I'm trying to get a clear understanding of what programs specifically will be implemented. Who are you collaborating with?
As for programming, the city plans to partner with institutions to offer ESL classes, as well as offer activities for children. The panel didn't have a clear answer on how long migrants are expected to stay, but did say they plan to have a 24-hour policing. That's a move several residents weren't in favor of. Some saying the neighborhood has asked the city for help to tackle homelessness and gun violence.
It's a community that's being served here. So with that being,
hold on, Professor Lumumba, is that you? Hold on. Man, what am I doing? I'm messing up. Hold on, what am I doing? I'm messing up. Professor Lumumba, is that you on the board? Professor Lumumba, is that you? Is that you right there, Professor Lumumba? Listen, Professor Lumumba, he on the board. That's you. Listen, Professor Lumumba, he on the board. Say, yes, we're going to vote for the immigrants. We're going to give the immigrants housing, hot in the cot. That's Professor Lumumba talking about. He going to give them a hot in the cot. That's you, Professor Lumumba. That's you right there. That's you right there. That's you right there, Professor Lumumba. That's you.
said, I think it would be very fair for every homeless immigrant that you bring in, that you scoop up one of the homeless individuals in our community. I think that would be fair.
Residents say they're hoping Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson moves asylum seekers to different locations once he takes office. In a statement today, Johnson called for more coordination at the federal, state, and local levels, while adding, I'm going to work collaboratively with the people of Chicago and alderpersons. Many communities have for too long been denied basic amenities and resources that could help strengthen them. But the stronger our communities are, the better position we are in to support both newcomers and current residents and families. And as you
I was muted. I'm sorry, I was muted. So this, it's my bad. I was muted. I apologize. So this is what other communities are doing. So if you notice on the board, there were several Latinos on the board saying, hey, this is what it's going to be for. This is what we're doing. Did you guys hear the last part of the video? Because I accidentally opened up a whole separate screen. But you guys can hear me now, right? I apologize about that. You guys still can't hear me? Can you hear me? I'm unmuted. You should be able to hear me now. Press 1 if you can hear me. Okay, you hear me now? Okay, perfect. No, but like I was saying, other communities, they're looking out for their own. Meanwhile, this is what we're doing. Hold on. This is us come, listen, this is us come election season. This is us right here. Everybody else is looking out for each other. We doing this, and then we circling back complaining when who we voted for ain't working in our best interest. When we didn't ask for anything, from the people who we voted for. Again, because we didn't ask for anything from the people who we voted for. Meanwhile, other communities, they're asking for tangibles from their politicians. Meanwhile, we're not. This is what we're doing. But this is what we're doing, though. Hold on. This is what we're doing.
Straight checks, I think we got one.
It's voting season, bruh.
No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. BLK app looking for some action. Swagger homie Scott was heading. Face is a 9, abs is a 10, D is a to be determined. He got mad jokes, he don't seem broke. The only red flag, he said he don't vote. This midterms for all the single cute. Wanna hit this booty, gotta do your civic duty. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking.
Yeah, don't stop now. Stuff my ballot box again, but my homegirl through. Put the buying partisan. Politics be so nasty. Make me wanna flirt ya. Show you how to be a poll worker. Legs in the air, I don't care. Anyone can get it. Universal health care. If you wanna come before the deadline. Come in the jacuzzi, gerrymander this coochie.
No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. Can't let me down, gotta stand up for something. No voting, no love, no voting.
And Lumumba, you know what's sad, Lumumba, Professor Lumumba? We had black intellectuals who are defending this video. But these same black intellectuals are nowhere to be found when it comes to situations that are taking place like we see right now in Chicago. Nowhere to be found. But they were defending this video. Anyways, guys, we'll take a quick commercial break. I'm going to put the link in the chat room. You guys are more than welcome to call in. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button. If you have not hit the like button, hit the like button. And also, too, y'all need to stop being stingy with these super chats. Yeah, I have been real stingy lately. Go ahead and trick off on your brother, Dynast Amir. Again, go ahead and trick off on your brother, Dynast Amir, because y'all going to trick it off anyway. So we'll be right back.
We can all benefit from proverbs from our elders. Africa is the birthplace of human civilization and home to some of the most ancient wisdom on the planet. The continent of Africa is an extremely culturally rich region and home to over 2,000 languages, 3,000 ethnic groups, and numerous belief systems. The Book of African Proverbs and Wisdom, Volume 1, from author J.P. Martin, available on Amazon, is a compilation of over 100 ancient proverbs and words of wisdom from the continent of Africa. This must-read book provides a diverse and expansive collection of timeless, wise sayings and knowledge which have been collected from every region of Africa. This book is perfect for anyone interested in learning more about the African culture and expanding their knowledge of human experience. Order your copy right now on Amazon. The Book of African Proverbs and Wisdom, Volume 1, from author J.P. Martin. Go to Amazon.com and get your copy today.
Alexis here, coming to you with an awesome sale of 25% off when you use promo code OHURU25 at alexisfowler.com.
I provide services like digital art, logo designs, packaging designs, web designs, social media flyers, and much more. If you're an entrepreneur with a business or a startup company, make sure you take advantage of this opportunity.
Getting 25% off when you use promo code OHURU25 at alexisfowler.com.
All right, guys, links in. Oh, here we go. Professor Lumumba, go ahead.
Yeah. So number one, don't disrespect. Don't disrespect. That was not me on that damn board. Right. So let's just keep that a buck. But that was not me on the board. Not me on the board. So you throwing shade, you know what I mean? But you just keep that energy when we play y'all in our rematch.
Oh, God. Here. Oh,
you know
go ahead.
That energy. With that cupcake schedule y'all got.
Y'all schedule worse than ours.
It's cool. It's cool though. But listen, we're gonna be battle tested. So it's cool. Right. So back to this issue. I think there's a couple things that we really want to unpack. You showed the video, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. You talked about strolling to this polls, etc., etc. This really shows, in my opinion, the lack of political intelligence that is pervasive in the Black community. Right, to where some of us, I shouldn't say we, but some of us engage in political stunts right? But there's no true political agenda, right? Strolling to the polls, no voting, no bucking, but there's no real political agenda. There's no ask. There's no tangibles that are demanded, right? The second issue, and I think this is particularly disrespectful, is if anyone's been to Chicago, is anyone familiar with the Chicago community, the Latino, Latinx, Hispanic community, whatever they want to call themselves, is situated predominantly on Chicago's west side. But they are choosing to place the center in a predominantly Black community on the south side. So we talk about displacement, right? We talk about being treated as if we're actual refugees and immigrants are actual citizens. This is a primary example, right? Extremely problematic. And then last but not least, I hear what you said about Trump. He stated that, vote for me. What do you have to lose? He stated that he was going to do what? That he was going to address the carnage in Chicago. And me, I'm independent. He was in the office for what? 4 years, and he did nothing that I can reflect to address the carnage, as he called it, in Chicago.
No, but your girl Heavyfoot shut him down and told him not to come.
Well, so number one, like I said, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm independent. I'm Black-minded. I'm Black first. Race first, as Garvey taught us. But the president has power over the mayor of a municipality.
Yeah, but
a mayor can't stop a president from doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, but it's to the point, like if
that's all I'm saying, and you know that,
right? But if I were offering a solution and the leader of the city was like, we don't want you there because you are racist, I'm just like, all right, well, F you then, and just keep it shit.
I understand that, but all I'm speaking to is what? Fulfilling campaign promises, irrespective of what an individual has to say, because we understand particularly when we talk about partisan politics, these type of things tend to take place, right? Secondly, last time I was on your show, I had a back and forth with a brother, and I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong. The brother came on, he stated that if a lawyer passes the bar, he is of course subject to the Supreme Court of that state. And he was absolutely right. I was absolutely wrong. I touched base with my personal private attorney and a couple of friends of mine who are attorneys. So I'm going to go on record by saying that brother was right. Professor Lumumba was wrong.
Okay. Yeah, hey, well, listen. It's it's okay. Yes, sir. Here we go. Since Trump wanted to put resources into Chicago, but the DNC blocked it.
So I think I would make the assumption that when he says DNC, he's referring to the Democratic National.
Yeah, but it's like they didn't want. They were like, no.
But here's the thing: I'm unaware of a party being able to prevent a president from allocating resources, because the president could just simply sign an executive order. And the only way an executive order could be overturned is if it's deemed unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. And we know the Supreme Court wouldn't go against Trump because three of the actual individuals on the Supreme Court were nominated by Trump, right? So I think that is a bit of subterfuge, right? A particular party can't block a president from allocating resources into a particular locality, municipality, or state, because the president can sign an executive order.
Hey, Eric, call in, Eric. Eric, if you can, Eric, if you're in a position to call in.
So he's saying the governor, mayor, etc. Once again, but the president can sign an executive order and trump all of that. And there's nothing that a governor or a mayor could do about it.
Yeah, but I'm just like...
Except for what? Make a speech publicly, try to rally and say this is wrong, or try to appeal to through the media at the Supreme Court to take a look at, of course, the executive order if they believe that the executive order is unconstitutional. But the second issue, they say what Brother Eric is saying is true. That speaks to the fact that these politicians don't actually care about doing what is in the best interest of their constituents. They care about towing the party line, which is something that we see all the time on both sides of the aisle, particularly with Black politicians. They're loyal to the party rather than their constituents.
Right, correct.
Which is extremely problematic because that leaves us once again in the wind.
Right, exactly. And Eric said he's hopping on in a couple of minutes, but
So
yeah,
and we saw what they did with Lightfoot. They got her out of there. And then after she was voted out, she said, "Oh, because of racism, sexism, and homophobia." But they just voted for you 4 years before.
Yeah, but at the same time, they elected Lightfoot 2.0. So I don't understand why they complain.
So some people are making that argument. Yeah, some people are making that argument. I saw some activists in Chicago was advocating for the brother to be elected. So we will see what happens. But I will say this about Trump once again being objective. I know you are right leaning. I don't know if you are a Republican or not.
Well, I'm not a Republican. No, I'm not. Okay. I'm actually a registered Democrat.
Okay, got you. Well, I'm registered independent. I changed that on my record a long time ago. But one of the things that I can say that I think is a fair criticism of Trump, and I don't have an issue with his bombastic rhetoric, unless it's anti-black. But I focus more on what a person says than what they do. But what I will say is that Trump's administration was a dumpster fire. And whenever you have an extremely high turnover rate where you're hiring someone and people are quitting or you're firing them, that shows that there's some dysfunction in the workplace. And I think we can agree on that.
We agree on that. Go ahead, Eric.
I'm sorry.
I said go ahead, Eric.
Lumumba, all due respect, bro. I think we need to take a step back and just think about this for a second. President Trump was ready to put resources into Chicago and Illinois. That's a major Democrat stronghold. So the Democrats did not want to work with him at all, period. We know that as a fact. The Democrats refused to work with him or across the aisle. So one, he can't just write an executive order because then he's going to look like he's misusing that power. And then two,
he can. I mean, he didn't care about misusing the power when he was willing to write an executive order banning people who are Muslim.
Let me get it out. Don't cut me off.
I apologize.
That's all right. So he can't just do that because that's just not going to look politically correct for a white man that the black community has chosen to hate en masse.
Right, but Trump doesn't care about being politically correct. So that, to me, that's not a valid excuse. We know that he doesn't care about being politically correct.
The second reason is he already offered to send resources, and they turned it down. He can't
send federal troops in.
You can't do that because of something called posse comitatus. That's something that came out during the Civil War. You can't send in troops. That's something that only the governor could do with the National Guard.
I'm reading an article right here dated July 22nd, 2020, hit on ABC Eyewitness News in Chicago, states President Trump sending hundreds of federal agents to Chicago as part of an anti-violence effort. Mayor Lightfoot says focus would not be protesters.
Right, that's federal agents. That's not troops. That's federal agents. That's federal law enforcement.
Okay, yeah, agents. I'm sorry. Did I say troops?
Yes, you did.
My apologies.
All right. So that's all I'm trying to get at is that a president isn't a king. He still has.
No, I understand that. But all I'm saying is the issue of political correctness, I think that's ridiculous because Trump isn't someone who cares about being politically correct. And we see Morris ruling in the comment states Trump wrote many executive orders for trivial issues. Come on, dude. Right? He even wrote an executive order that was overturned for being unconstitutional, seeking to ban people from coming to America based on their religion. So to me, listen, if you want to say, hey, I'm not going to help, I'm not going to assist a municipality when the of course elected officials there don't want to work with me, fine, I could get with that, no problem. But don't say he couldn't do it because of political correctness, because this is a man who doesn't care about being politically correct. This is a man who wrote executive orders for trivial issues, executive orders that he even knew were unconstitutional, and he wrote them anyway, and then went to court to try to fight the Supreme Court to keep it from overturning it.
But that's my point, bro. So the point I'm trying to get at is if he had done an executive order for Chicago, how would that have benefited him in the long run? It wouldn't have done anything.
Well, I disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why. I believe it would have benefited him because it would have showed that he was willing to keep his word, irrespective of the partisan politics, and he was willing to use the power of the Oval Office to do what was in the best interest of American citizens, irrespective of what locality or municipality they were elected. And I'll tell you this much, and this is no cap, no lie. If he would have did that, I tell you what, he would have had my vote in the past election, 100%.
That sounds idyllic, but politically, the black people en masse would have said he the white man using the big stick to crack black heads. That's what they would have painted it as. So I mean,
people say that about him doing the Muslim ban, and he did it anyway.
But okay, but that's an international chess piece. That's not a Chicago basket case of black folks that just ain't gonna get it together.
And I mean, what he was willing to send federal troops to the border to the southern border.
Okay, again, that's an international thing.
Right. He had to put those troops at the border of what states? But he was willing to do it anyway. He didn't care about the backlash. All I'm saying is, this is the man who has engaged in the political rancor, political action. And had no care or concern. He has shown this. He has no care or concern what people think of him. So all I'm saying is that the argument you're making doesn't add up, because the history of this man as a politician, which has been short, shows that he doesn't have a care or concern for political correctness or whatever people think about him being a white man in power.
Because you're assuming that black people are as important as the international states. Black people.
All I'm saying is this is what he said he would do.
Let me finish. I'll let you get it out. Let me finish.
Yes, sir.
My point is, black people in Chicago, you could throw $1 trillion in there. You can send 2 battalions of army, plus special forces in Chicago. They're still not going to get their stuff together. So politically, Trump.
So are you saying that black people in Chicago are inherently dysfunctional?
Yes. At this point, it's been going on for at least 5 generations. They ain't gonna get it together. So it's not.
What are your thoughts, Dinas?
It's not politically in his favor to die on that hill of trying to turn Chicago around or do something for Chicago when the Democrats are against it.
Fair enough. You know what? And I can concede that point. All I'm saying is, he claimed that he would do this, and I'm going to hold Trump, just like I hold every politician, feet to the fire. And when you say you're going to do something, I expect you to do it. That's all.
Okay.
Irrespective, because I'm sure he had a war room, a think tank. He has what's the term that we want to use? Individuals who advise him, and they would have told. They all told him before, hey, don't make a claim unless you're sure you could do it. So all I'm saying is, I can see the point. But when a person says they're going to do something, I expect them to do it.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to argue with that. I just want to get that other side to get fair balance. So I'll drop off now, Dinas. Thanks.
But yeah, I think that's a strong point to say, you think Chicago is irredeemable. Right. And I've been to Chicago a lot, but I've never lived there. I have a homeboy who's a medical doctor. We grew up together. He lived in Chicago for about 8 or 9 years, but he lived downtown, and he would not go south of Hyde Park. So,
all right. Anybody
Trump also stated he would lock up Hillary Clinton. That didn't happen. So, yeah, all I'm saying is, I expect the politician, when they make these claims and they say they're going to be different from the rest, when you say you're going to do something, you have the power to do it, and you have a history of engaging in political action, and of course, rhetoric that shows a lack of concern for being politically correct. That, for me, that's not a viable excuse. I mean, you saw the way this dude would talk to people in the media. So this man doesn't care about being politically correct. So to me, like I say, that's not a viable excuse for why he did not do what he said he would do when it came to addressing the issues in Chicago.
Yes, sir. Guys, listen, links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the link. I'm not talking about calling and add to the conversation. I'm talking about calling and add to the link. If you want to call and add to the conversation, click on the link. Again, link is in the chat room. Love to hear your guys's.
And I see the comments. Hey, ain't no emotion over here, B. I don't get down that way. And of course, tap in if you're from Ohio. We need to be Ohio strong. Dinas is kind of still riding high.
Yeah,
playoff victory. So if you're from Ohio, make sure you tap in, be part of the conversation, because it's OHIO all day, every day.
Let me ask you: is there anybody from Chicago in the chat room? If you're in Chicago and you're in the chat room, call in, please. Again, if you called in, if you're from Chicago and you're in the chat room, call in.
So let me ask you this question, Dinas, because I hear a lot of people arguing that the violence in Chicago, particularly on the south side and the west side, shout out to K-Town, is due to forces outside of the black community's control, basically manipulating black people into killing each other. What do you say to something like that?
No, it's black people. It's in black people's control. It's not out of black people's control. I'm not buying the argument that is the white man's fault or outside forces that's forcing black men to kill black men. I'm not buying that in Chicago.
Okay. And I'm just asking the question because I've heard this type of rhetoric being used before by people who have, of course, platforms such as your own and myself, and individuals who are considered activists. Even Pan-Africanists, I've heard some Pan-Africanists make those type of arguments. I think it's nonsensical. I think it promotes a lack of agency and self-determination. I think it makes the argument that Black people are ill-equipped to think for ourselves and do for ourselves, right? But I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
No, because I think when people post that, when the people put front that argument that is outside forces, then it does a disservice to the Black men who grew up in those environments, who decided not to pick up a gun and kill someone and sell dope and all that. So that's why I'm not buying that argument, me personally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would make the same argument as well. Like, when people talk about the crack epidemic in the 1980s, and I always tell people, yes, what happened was horrible. We know the government played a role with the Contras, Iran-Contra, Gary Webb wrote the book Dark Alliance, but we omit the fact that the majority of Black men and women did not become users or sellers of crack cocaine.
Right, exactly. And shout out to Ruby, who sent me a $10 holla on Cash App, her for so I could go trick off. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Magic City, I got you.
Hey, listen, it's not gonna go far at Magic City in 2023.
I know.
Now listen. Back when I was in college, you go to the Blue Flame and all these other spots to get you a $5 lap dance, but I don't think they do a $5 lap dance in 2023. I haven't been to strip club, so. Yeah. Larry, if you want to call in and add to the conversation, Larry, you can, guys. Links in the chat room if you want to call in, add to the conversation. If you're from Ohio and you want to call in, and get roasted for dropping the ball and missing field goals and stuff, you know what I mean? Go ahead.
Well, brother Dynas, if I could, if you could cam up and show the people what the fetal position looks like for a grown man, if you could do that and show them how you were in the fetal position for 3.5 quarters, I definitely could contribute to your Cash App. Particularly considering I already did a couple months ago.
Yo, we got comedians on here. We got links in the chat. Not y'all. We'll just go ahead and close out, man. If nobody is.
But so let me ask this question to you, Dynas.
Go ahead.
What do you think is the solution to these type of issues? Because we're seeing this really nationwide, where Black people, they don't ask for tangibles. We engage in political stunts, but there's no actual agenda, and it's set in motion. You talked about Ice Cube. He says we need to have tangibles, right? And people telling him shut up, particularly Black women telling him shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. What do you think, in your opinion, would be a viable solution to these type of issues where we're really seeing the erasure of Black political power? Every election cycle.
I think we're too far gone, Lumumba. I think it's gonna take a damn near extinction level of event. I just think we're too far gone.
Too far gone. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, when you literally have a panel, like we just saw, of Black folks complaining about immigrants getting priority over them, when literally President Joe Biden said that was his top priority. I mean, what can
he did say that? He did say that. I didn't vote for Biden.
Right. So I mean, what else? Can you?
And what did he say? If you don't vote for me, you're not Black.
Yeah, then he said that. So I mean, what can he tell?
That's disrespectful, man.
Yeah, but so what can he tell people? Like, I mean, there's no hope. Go ahead, Brandon. I know you're calling for Kenny, Brandon. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's no good.
Are you in Kenya?
Yeah, it's no problem. I got that good Kenyan internet. You feel me?
Okay,
I'm
all
on
right.
spot.
A
You know what I'm
Bargani.
saying? Hey, mzuri sana. You know what I'm saying? We up in this joint. Yeah, man, Dynas, you said it all. You can't blame nobody but the Black community, even though now they want to show up to city council meetings complaining. You voted for Lori Lightfoot. Now you done voted for somebody worse than Lori Lightfoot, who pretty much said he's going to continue to cater to immigrants over Blacks while simply acknowledging the things that Black people have been through. So at a certain point, it just gets to the point where you almost want to see these people suffer in hopes that it will flip a switch in their mind where they'll see that the people they are actually supporting are the ones selling them out. Joe Biden, I played this clip the other day in a show I did. Joe Biden, they asked Joe Biden, did he support reparations? Joe Biden literally turned that question into a campaign ad for supporting Mexican immigrants. They asked him, did he support reparations for blacks?
Could you allow Brandon to share the power to share? Could you play that clip?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to play. Oh, look,
I want to see this.
Listen, I'm scrolling through right now because I'm about to show you the damn clip. And it was so disrespectful the way he did it, bro. It was so disrespectful the way he did it. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I hadn't saw that clip until after about 6 months after he got elected, bro. But if you could have saw how disrespectfully he just came hard, like he was like, we're a nation of immigrants. We've always been a nation of immigrants. That's what we are. The Hispanic community, this and that. I was like, bruh.
So he has a tendency to become extremely demonstrative when speaking to black people. Like, I mean, I've noticed that. I don't understand this. Yeah,
he goes full Klan member. He goes full Klan member. Dude, he goes beyond shit. I'm just telling you, the way that guy. I mean, when white people say, you know, this guy, when white people are saying you gave the worst possible answer to the question about reparations ever, you know you did pretty bad. Dynas, I'm gonna show it to you. I'll share it right now.
Okay, pull it up.
I share a lot of this guy's stuff, so you don't got to worry about this dude. But he has the best clip.
Yeah, go ahead.
But and it's funny, Dynas. You have people come up from different areas of the country still calling us names because we tell black people to get off the Democrat plantation. Oh, y'all coons, y'all this. I'm like, bruh, all Democrats support Joe Biden. If he's disrespecting you, that means they support you being disrespected. I shared it already. Okay, I'm playing right now. Let me unmute it.
About inequality in schools and race. In a conversation about how to deal with segregation in schools back in 1975, you told a reporter, I don't feel responsible for the sins of my father and grandfather. I feel responsible for what the situation is today, for the sins of my own generation, and I'll be damned if I feel responsible to pay for what happened 300 years ago. You said that some 40 years ago. But as you stand here tonight, what responsibility do you think that Americans need to take to repair the legacy of slavery in our country?
Pause it for 1 second. Now, Heather, I mean, you tell me. I mean, I think that's a fair question. She really set it up in such a way of like, that was 40 years ago. I accept that your attitude towards this may have changed. Why he did that, if it was just a nervous smile or like, I knew this was coming, or I don't know what was behind that, but here it is.
Americans need to take to repair the legacy of slavery in our country.
Well, they have to deal with look, there is institutional segregation in this country. And from the time I got involved, I started dealing with that. Redlining, banks, making sure that we are in a position where, look, we talk about education. I propose that what we take is those very poor schools, the Title I schools, triple the amount of money we spend from 15 to 45 billion a year. Give every single teacher a raise to the equal raise of getting out the $60,000 level. Number two, make sure that we bring in to help the teachers deal with the problems that come from home. The problems that come from home, we have one school psychologist for every 1,500 kids in America.
All right, pause it for 1 second. So here, Biden goes, I mean, right? Like.
This is the wrong clip. This was the wrong clip. This guy was talking a lot. I'm gonna get the right clip and then we'll play it.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that was the wrong clip. I just played this on my channel, and Biden just, he literally just started talking about Mexican immigration. He was like, well, that's why we need to support the Mexican community. I was like, what the hell? I honestly could not believe he had said that out loud. Like, you know when you have one of those, like, I can't believe you said this out loud moments? And furthermore, what I really can't believe is that there are black people who actually supported the dude when he said that. And we sit there and watch and hang on every single.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh.
Man, we sit up and read all the comments, bro. All the comments. We follow all the debates, all that. This dude literally was just like, I don't give a damn about the black community. And black people are just eating it up. And I actually showed that while going in on Yvette Carnell as a shield, a person who sits up and supports Democrats no matter what. Because I was like, how is this person somebody saying that they want to sit at the table about reparations when this person is hopelessly attached to the Democratic Party, a party that lets you know time and time again. Like Yvette Dynast, you remember when Yvette said the Democrats wouldn't show up to their conference, and she said we was gonna let them know that we was serious and we meant business by still voting Democrat? You remember that? You remember that, Dynast?
I don't remember that.
We gonna ride.
Dynast, stop.
Hold up. Wait.
Listen,
run that back.
Dynast.
Run that back, Brandon. Run that back. What did you say?
Man, y'all dudes don't, man, bruh, listen to me. Listen, Dynast, give me about 3 minutes. I'm going to pull up everything.
Let me pass it to original man.
Pass it.
Original man. Go ahead, original man.
Yeah, I mean, like the word Democrat is like a hypnotic word to black people. It's like we're conditioned to vote Democrat regardless, good or bad, happy or sad, everything's Democrat. You know, and we're not looking at the fact that they are doing the worst of the worst to us. I mean, come on. Ice Cube said, let's hold our votes. We didn't do that.
Hey, 1 second. Hey,
nobody's listening.
One second. Lumumba, you have like some background noise. Like, I don't know, like it sounds like clippers.
Oh my God.
Nah, I was muted, so that can't be me.
No, but it's still like a background though. So when I unmute you, see, and it's clear now. Like it's like, I don't know, like you got a fan or, you know.
I think that's me. It's kind
of.
No,
it's not you. You sound, no, everybody else is cool. Everybody else is cool. But go ahead, original man.
No, but I mean, like that's the password, Democrat. And black people flock to that word Democrat. They vote Democrat. They think Democrat. Not aware that Democrats are a big detriment to us. Okay? Oh, come on. It's the same thing every 4 years. Every 4 years. You know, I'm sick of Roland Martin. I'm sick of these folks telling us vote Democrat. Okay? What are reparations?
Not coming. Let me bring Ghost of FBA. Go ahead.
Hey, how y'all doing, man? Okay, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. It's gonna sound a little sexist, right? So I'm just gonna let y'all know that now, right? So, but I'm gonna be honest. These bitches shouldn't be voting. Like I want to say that. I want to say that. Let's be for real, bro. The Democrat vote is basically a whole bunch of women, gays, confused
Nah,
people.
bro. We can't do that. We got men. Listen, I'm gonna tell you a true story. I was I live in Atlanta and I live in a community called the West End, and I was this whole thing, we're gonna blame black women for, you know, Democratic Party being in power. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Black men are especially older black men. I was taking a walk through my community one day, and I run into some older brothers who live in the community, and this is during the Georgia governor election. And we started talking politics. I told him, look, I'm voting for Kemp. You should have heard the conspiracy theories. Oh, them Republicans would have put us on trains and they gonna take us somewhere and slaughter us. And all this. You should have just heard the conspiracy theories. But as long as I've been in this community here in Atlanta, in the Western Atlanta, it's been Pookie and Ray Ray tearing shit up. Now it's gentrifying and it's shifting, but it was Pookie and Ray Ray tearing shit up. But these old black men, they gonna come and get us. The Republicans, they coming to get us. They want to slaughter us.
Man,
you know,
I'm gonna tell you this.
Like, oh God,
I'm gonna tell you this much, right? Because I just watched the video, right? Because like I live in Georgia too, man. So like, trust me, on that much we do understand that much, right? They talking about outside Joe Biden go to an all-female school, right? Black female school. You know what we talking about, right? In Georgia, and went there and told all them people, like told them chicks, right? You know what? We need to ban all your AR-15s. And I'm sitting here, and then you got a whole stadium of motherfuckers clapping about quote unquote taking their guns away, not knowing damn well A, you live in a white supremacist country, and two, if they take your goddamn guns, bitch, what you gonna do? Like I mean, for real. Like let's be honest.
1 second. Can we refrain from using the B word?
My bad.
Yeah,
what are you going to do if they take your guns in a country where you have no right to defend yourself? Because for my understanding, I ain't never seen. Is that my phone or something?
Yeah, but guys, links in the chat room. Put the link in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation.
Okay, but I'm saying you have people out here voting against their best interest. They out here voting on emotionality, not logic, and that's really kind of the problem because you have quote unquote. I'm not going to see. I can't even see. Well, I'm actually seeing this on major politics. They're either do some emotional politics where they come to young children, impressionable adults, right, and go to them and say, you need to vote on this reason because it'll make you feel better about this, knowing damn well that that's going to affect you 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line. And I'm seeing it. It's basically just a whole bunch of emotional politicking, and I just it's not helping the community. It's not helping nobody because you can't have an emotional thinking.
Propaganda.
Yeah, emotional propaganda, and I'm saying that is mainly targeted to women. Though it's clear they'll have a commercial. And they'll have some random, I don't know, some black woman. Oh my Lord, somebody need to give me a check, and then all of a sudden the gospel music start playing, and I'll be sitting here like, oh God, please, not this crap. But
not to blame all black women, but I mean,
like, we can't the men too, man. We can't.
I'm not gonna say. I'm not saying it's only women,
but a lot of them are supporters of the Democratic Party, and so I mean, you always see them caping for the Democrats, and I agreed with Ice Cube. We should have held our votes, but who got in his way? Black people. And then those black women, well, what do you have for black women? When I said black people, I said everybody. No, but you didn't say, I don't see anything about black women. I'm like, you're not a race onto yourselves. Ice Cube talking for everybody. So, it's like, why do you want to separate yourself from your black men? What are you talking about? It's just
emotional politicking. They doing this.
It's emotional.
They're doing the same thing in the Republican side. They'll put some Christian theatrical music on the background, right? And they go politic to the white woman and go say some crap like, or the Mexican woman, and say, don't you need to save your immigrants cousin? Then they have like a picture of some random chick still saying or the sad face, and then you be like, oh man, we need to take this away from somebody. And I be sitting here looking like this whole country is like an emotionally political place, and these folk not understanding that these things, you need to think about these things 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line. You can't have an emotional thinking. That's what I'm saying.
Like Roland Martin, right?
Yeah, oh God, man.
Hey, Dynas, I literally got it right here. Your girl, I want Yvette Cardinal to sit at the table for us. I don't think you ever saw this, Dynas.
No, I haven't. Go ahead.
This is why I was on you. I was like, this guy never saw this chick in her final coon form. All right, I'm playing right now. This is a video I did 2 years ago.
If you don't do it, we'll end up coming for you. If you don't want to work for us, this is Project Takeover.
Niggas standing, they standing up, Dinah's cheering.
I see a whole bunch of old folk.
We gonna rise up.
We have
Listen,
not only invited every candidate to the conference, as Antonio has said, and we went back and forth with one of them we went back and forth with all of them. We went back and forth with Elizabeth Warren's camp for a very long time. We have tried, and none of these candidates, except for Marianne Williamson, has decided that they're going to come to the table and even listen to us seriously on the issue of reparations and a black agenda. And so people have been asking me and Antonio, what are you going to do? I bet they just go the way of the Democrats and they just going to talk for a long time and ain't going to do nothing. Well, we have decided that if Democrats do not come around to what we need them to come around, we have to stand on our square. And we have said in no uncertain terms that politics is an exchange. It's not a gift. So what that means, we're not just going to stay at home. What that means is that we have decided that we're voting down ballot.
Democratic.
Democrat. We got a lot of Democrats that need our help, whether it's we have decided that we're voting down ballot.
Democratic.
Let it play.
Democrat. We got a lot of Democrats that need our help.
Wait, one more.
That we're voting down ballot.
Democratic.
Democrat.
Now listen to this part, Dinah.
We got a lot of Democrats that need our help, whether it's your local city councilman, local state lawmaker, local dog catcher, whatever. We got a lot of Democrats that need our help. We got a lot of Democrats that need our help. We got a lot of Democrats that need our help, whether it's your local city councilman, local state lawmaker.
That's something that I do on my channel because black people, if they hear it once, they can tell themselves that they didn't hear it. But if you play it 3 times, there's no denying the fact that she said it. She literally announced to you that she is a Democratic shield. Dinus, the logical step would have been like, the Democrats have said that they don't want to work with us. So politics is an exchange. We need to go shop around our agenda, shop around our demands to see who's willing to work with us on these demands, whether it's Republican, Libertarian, or what. This lady said there's a lot of Democrats that still need our help. I thought her agenda, Dinus, was reparations, not Democrat support. Right, Dinus? Wasn't her agenda?
Yeah, like this is fair use. This is fair use. But yes, this
is mine. This is my stuff.
Go ahead.
Screw fair use. This is my video. This is the thing. I took this on my own video. This lady is supposed to be championing reparations. If that lady came to you and said, well, I'm really just championing the Democratic Party. I'm a person here working for the Democratic Party. You wouldn't even support her, Dinus. Would you support her, Dinus, if she said my goal is to keep the Democrats in power?
No.
So she just said right here, the Democrats are not going to do what we need them to do. So my solution to that is to still continue to help Democrats, just not at the level, the presidential level, but in every other area. And then what do the same people tell you, Dinus? The presidency don't even matter. You need to vote in your local elections. That's what really counts. Ain't that what they say, Dinus?
Yep.
So the Democrats won't support us with the reparations thing. So what we're going to do is continue to support them in the most important aspect of support at the local levels. This is why I'm telling you. This is why when you made that thing about Yvette, I just went off. I lost it. I literally went a little bit crazy because I was like, this guy clearly haven't heard where this lady literally stands. If you guys go back to Yvette Carnell in 2016, Yvette didn't even support reparations. She was a Democrat loyalist. She said, I don't support reparations because it would hurt the Democratic Party. Because black people would switch once they got some money to being conservatives because they would want to obviously what, Dinus? Retain their money. Why would Democrats ever want you to get reparations when they want to tax you up the yin-yang? And they get to do that when they get you to think that they're only going after the rich. Why would they then want to make you rich, Dinus? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You would logically be anti-Democrat. Wait, y'all just gave me $1.5 million and y'all telling me y'all want to tax me at 50% on that? Y'all want to take half of my million.
Nah, we ain't doing that.
Listen, bro, you would be voting Republican all the way down the ballot without even thinking about who it was or what they stood for. You would just say, like all rich people, who's not trying to raise my taxes, that's who I'm voting for. So what black people need to understand is reparations will never come from the Democratic side of the aisle. Democrats benefit off of turning poor people against rich people. Why on God's green earth would they want to make you rich?
Are you suggesting that Republicans are going to
Don't start
initiate
Alquan. Don't start Alquan. Dynast, take his ass out of here. All he does is disrupt
This is
logical
not your
conversation.
show, sir.
No, well,
Hey.
let me hold on. Let me pass.
All right.
Lumumba,
This is about to be. This is what I'm saying. Soon as we level a logical argument that can resonate with our people, you got somebody saying, "Oh, so you saying Republicans are going to deal with it?" This is just a person.
That's a question.
This is just a person who comes in to disrupt. Alquan is a Native American indigenous.
Yeah, I know he's a clown. Listen, I know he's a clown. But
they got what they want. So why you over here in our business?
You have. I know he's a Native American.
Right. I provide great insight, but I know people have their agendas and they don't like hearing anything that might.
I don't have an agenda.
Like, well, you do have a Republican agenda.
No, I don't.
Well, why do you keep talking about Democrats?
If the libertarians offer to work with you on reparations, work with them. If the American Socialist Party offer to champion the cause of reparations, work with them. If the Green Party says we will get up and go work towards reparations, work with them. If the freaking Anarchist Party says, hey, we believe you should get reparations and we should burn this bitch down anyway, go work with them. Go work with whoever's going to talk about reparations. The closest thing I've heard to a person in government in a real position of power talking about anything even close to reparations was Donald Trump with the $500 billion.
Donald Trump is not in office anymore.
What I'm going to say is, I'm going to say this one more time. The only group or person I've heard say anything close to reparations, even bring it up seriously, was Donald Trump as a Republican, who right now is the leading candidate for the presidency, right now, leading in every single poll by double digits, right now. We could talk about mysticism, spookism, pseudo history, all that. Right now,
but right now he's not in office. That's the
Right now, the person who offered you $500 billion towards your economy is leading by double digits in every single poll in the nation for the presidency of the United States of America.
Well, sir,
that's what I'm telling you.
You didn't answer my question. So are you saying that Republicans...
Right now, the only president who ever answered your phone calls after they got the presidency, the only president who actually allowed you into the Oval Office... The only president who allowed you into the Oval Office after they won the presidency with almost zero of your support is leading in the nation in every poll in the nation by double digits.
Now, if this man don't sound like a paid off Republican shill,
he's leading every poll in the nation by double digits. He's willing to work with you. Why are we not on the phone with him right now?
He's not the president. That's why.
If he is willing to work with you, why aren't you?
Let me make a comment, Brandon.
Wait. Let me say this one thing. This guy, see, let me tell you how ignorant this dude is. He's saying he's not the president right now, right? So he says, why you always talk about Republicans? Well, anybody else that you talk to isn't the president right now either.
So are you saying that Republicans are championing reparations for Black Americans?
The president of the United States right now.
So I asked you about Republicans.
The president of the United States right now does not support reparations.
He's not a Republican. I asked you about
the president of the United States right now does not support reparations.
I'm asking about Republicans, sir.
The president of the United States right now does not support reparations.
That's not answering the question. That's avoiding
the president of the United States right now does not support reparations.
But I asked you about
the presidency.
Republicans support reparations.
So the guy supporting reparations not being the president has nothing to do with it because the president doesn't support reparations.
Republicans, not a man who's running or may run. I'm asking you about people who are in office now, Republicans.
The president of the United States does not support reparations. The only person who even entertained the idea of any form of any economic.
You heard you say that, but I'm asking you specifically about Republicans.
The only person.
Okay, I have a question.
Let me say this one more time. I just want to end it. I want to end it on this note. The only person who has entertained any idea or concept of economic stimulus for blacks exclusively is leading in the polls in every poll in the nation by double digits.
Okay, so I'll answer the question for you. So basically, only one man who is not in office is saying here that he wants reparations for black people, but not Republicans on a whole. So that's the answer.
A man who has a proven track record of getting things done for the black community.
All right, let's pass it to Lumumba. Go ahead, Lumumba.
Real quick. So I'm gonna push back a little bit, Brandon. You stated that he met with black people, and that's true. But you have to look at who he met with. He met with, of course, black celebrities.
I don't have to look at anything. All I know is based on Donald Trump's track record, he has done more for the black community than any other president.
He met with people, but
we're talking about things done. We're talking about things that he did.
Okay, so what? All right, let me ask a question.
Here we go. What did he do? See, Dynast, everybody on earth.
I'm asking a question.
It's beneath you right now to ask me that question because every black person who actually cares about black politics and economics can list everything Donald Trump did for the black community. And he did it while not getting any of our support.
Okay, just tell me what they are.
Listen. The person who you did not support in any way permanently funded HBCUs, the most money in history
I'm
to
aware
HBCUs.
of the HBCU issue. I'm aware of that.
Created opportunity zones in the black community, gave companies tax write-offs to open up businesses in black communities, which we turned around and burned down during George Floyd. He also signed
the mostly white affair, by the way.
He also signed the First Step Act, which was the first stage of prison reform, which black people been saying we needed since the late 1990s.
Okay,
but we didn't. But we voted him out of office. Black people. Remember, Biden couldn't have won without black people. We voted him out of office before he could even get to sign the second stage of the prison reform bill. Let
me say this, Brandon. Let me say this.
Now you want to say something?
No, hold on. I asked because I wanted you to
yet.
give it to me in bullet form. I was familiar with the HBCU issue. I was not. I was a bit. It was a bit murky for me on the opportunity zones and, of course, the First Step Act. That's why I asked so you could tell me, so I could know myself. I wasn't asking you this to try to put you down or undercut your argument. I was asking for I can actually know, and my response is thank you.
I wasn't done. The last thing is, in an election, this guy came and appealed to a voter base that did not support him at all in the previous election. He said, look, what do you have to lose? He came to you. He said, your communities are crap. Your schools are crap. You're constantly complaining. You built this country. You're not getting credit for the role you played in building this country. We could play the clip of the speech. It's 2 minutes. You're not getting credit for the listen. You're not getting credit for what you've done for this country. So why don't you come vote for me, and I'll give you something that's damn near equal to the military budget for the United States to build economic opportunity in your community.
But did he do it while he was president?
He's the only person. We didn't bring it to him while he was president. Ice Cube brought.
I don't want to hear about no Ice Cube.
All right, Dynast, come on. This guy won't even let the information be communicated.
But we know.
No, you're doing ignorant stuff. You're doing ignorant stuff.
Now you just got an agenda. You don't want to hear other views.
Listen, Ice Cube. When did we bring the black agenda to Donald Trump, Dynast, and Lumumba, and everybody else who got logic? We brought it in the middle of the election. We brought it in the middle of the primaries. So when you brought it to him, Ice Cube, black people,
that's an entertainer.
We brought it. I don't care what you say. We don't even know you. We don't even see your face, bro. So you're irrelevant in this conversation.
You don't know you. So, we don't know what you're doing in Africa. You could be a pimp in Africa.
Anyway.
Hold on, Brad. Alcon, camera.
He never will. He never will.
I don't have a camera.
Listen. We brought the black agenda. The contract with Black America was presented to Donald Trump in the middle of the election. Donald Trump don't sit at home thinking, ooh, let's do something for black community. He don't think about that. But every black person, Dynast, from Steve Harvey to Ice Cube, to Ben Carson, to the people who wanted him to release A$AP Rocky, to Kim Kardashian, to Vernon Jones, every black person who brought something up to Trump was 100% on board. He never told us no. Dynast, on anything. And when he got the contract with Black America on his desk, he said, we got to change the name because the language is not good. We can't go and say Black America because America's one. He said, let's change it to the Platinum Plan. He got on stage in Atlanta. He said, look, one of your darkies brought this to me. I think it's a good idea, and I'm willing to give it to you. He wasn't going to do it. Guess what? We done gave Ukraine billions of dollars. That clearly shows you that we have the budget. It would have worked much in the same way, where money was going to already established corporations to build economic hubs in the Black community. Hey, Amazon, you want to put your new factory in the middle of in the middle of Atlanta in the Black neighborhood? We'll give you some tax write-offs and cuts and incentives to do that. This is how this stuff works. I don't know where you guys think you live right now, but when we brought it to him, he was down for it. So if you talk about the timing, that's your fault. You didn't bring the shit to him. Just like right now, when we should be on the phone with Donald Trump trying to secure deals in case he wins, or trying to secure deals so Biden's, his pundits and his informants and his information.
So Brandon, why did you use the term?
Hold on real quick. Hold on. Let me say this. Because everybody says it's a racist, so I like to keep the little racist edge on there. But look, so right now, the timing. If you go to Trump now and Biden's information people come to him and say, hey, dude, the Black leadership is going to Trump right now because they think he might beat you based on the polls, and they're asking him for X, Y, Z. You know what Biden is going to do? He going to come offering you X, Y, Z for your vote. And at that point, you can say, no, we want guarantees. We want things in writing. We want you to sign some shit into law right now while you are president to get our support in the next election. We love being Johnny come lately.
I will make the argument that I believe you should be meeting with every candidate, viable candidate, before
you have to do it before the election starts.
You should be meeting with both and leveraging those relationships to get what you want. Based on whoever gets elected, you should. And the reality is, we should be playing them against each other to get what we want. That's how it's supposed to work.
That's called politics. That's literally called politics. But let me say this one last thing, and I'll shut up. I won't say nothing else. Somebody in the comments is saying no reparations, no votes. Shut the F up, N-word, all this stuff, right? Do you realize that white America is pretty much split 50-50? Democrat and Republican? The Black vote is the deciding vote. Then there's the Hispanic vote that has now outgrown the Black vote, but they still majority lean Democrat. The Democrats don't need you to vote. The Democrats just need you not to participate. Because if you don't participate, the Democrats win because most Asians still vote Democrat. Most Mexicans still vote Democrat. Most Pacific Islanders still vote Democrat. Most immigrants still vote Democrat. And we got a bunch of Afghanis and Ukrainians up in here. They just need blacks to either vote for them or to not participate, and they will win. The only group that is registered to vote that is big enough to turn the election in favor of the Republicans or the opposition of Democrats is Black voters. Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton because Black people did not show up. He didn't beat her because Black people voted for him. He beat her because Black people didn't even show up to vote Democrat because they were so pissed off at Obama. So if you do non-participation, the Democrats win anyway. And as we know for a fact, they do not support immigration all the way down the line. So guess what? No vote means no reparations. No vote means no reparations.
Hold on. That was a bit of a contradiction. You said Hillary Clinton lost because Black people didn't show up and vote for Democrats because they was mad at Obama. But
yes.
Then after that, you stated that if you don't vote, Democrats will win it anyway.
If you don't vote against Democrats, they will win. That's what I'm telling you. Enough of us.
Black people didn't vote against Hillary, and I'm not following.
No, this is what I'm telling you. White people don't like Hillary Clinton. That's why Trump won. Hillary Clinton was the worst possible candidate to run in 2016 because even white people don't trust Hillary after the whole emails and all that stuff. So white people hated Hillary, more than they like Donald Trump. So many white Americans also did not show up to vote for Hillary, who would normally vote for Hillary Clinton. A lot of white people just took a position of non-participation because they said, I could never vote for Hillary Clinton. That's how Donald Trump won. See, black people didn't show up in 2016 and white people didn't show up.
That's not what you just said.
Well, I'm adding a little more context to that particular election. White people also didn't show up. So she did not win also because white people didn't show up. Trump lost to Biden because white people showed up to vote for Trump and black people showed up to vote against Trump. That is why Joe Biden got the damn near the most votes in history. Because for the first time ever, you had so many white people, even white Republicans voted against Trump. See what I'm saying? So it was likability. More of they got some things that don't usually happen in two elections in a row.
But like I said, and I said this before you came on, part of the reason that I think Trump lost was because his administration was a dumpster fire. Numerous individuals who were associated with him and members of his cabinet not only were what's the term when you're indicted and even convicted of federal crime. Right? And when you look at his administration, there were
that's not why he didn't get voted. That's not why he didn't get voted.
Or quit.
Lumumba, that's not why.
After being hired.
Lumumba,
you're wrong.
That's not why.
You're wrong.
That's not why, Lumumba. I'm gonna tell you.
You're wrong.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. So, it was COVID. Number one.
Yes.
The number two, right? The number two, it was George Floyd. So you had a bunch of white guilt.
And also,
do you have any information to substantiate that?
Yes, black.
Trust me.
I'm gonna tell you straight up. Biden was letting black people believe
or something.
Democrats were letting
at that time.
Listen.
I'm sorry.
Listen. Black Democrats were letting black people believe that they were going to defund the police. They were letting black people believe that they were going to put in the George Floyd George Floyd police reform bill, right? Biden didn't say he supported it, but he didn't say he didn't support it. And so as black people usually do, we ran ourselves to the edge. White folks ran with us to the edge and they stopped just short of the cliff and let us run ourselves off the side. Black people voted for Joe Biden because they thought that Joe Biden was going to let black people basically have anarchy in our community. They thought that Joe Biden was going to remove the police element from our community. So everybody, black people, we love kind of chaos. We're into the whole chaos thing. We think that the police are the biggest issue in our community and stuff. So when we thought that they were literally going to take money from the police and put it into like black programs and stuff, black people voted for Joe Biden. As soon as he got elected, he said, look, stop saying defund the police. I don't support defund the police and all this stuff. And then he stopped answering the phone calls of the black leadership. George Floyd, like I always said this, and Dynas, you remember when we would do shows together about this, the only person who benefited from George Floyd's death was Joe Biden. He was the only person who profited off of George Floyd's
That's my
death.
point, Lumumba. I think you had white guilt from the George Floyd situation, and then you had the COVID. That's why Trump lost.
So how did Trump lose due to COVID?
Bro, he handled COVID so horribly, bro. Like that was
he didn't handle COVID horribly. That was a lie. And everybody believed Anthony Fauci.
Because of COVID?
I'm telling you right now, there were several false narratives that were created surrounding Trump. One of those
always happens in elections.
We understand that, but here's the thing. You had a virus that was unprecedented in the amount of fear that is struck into people.
Facts.
People voted against Trump out of fear because when Trump said, we got to do herd immunity. We can't lock down. When Trump admitted that really we didn't know nothing about the virus and we didn't have control over it, he told you the truth. And people got so scared when someone came along and was like, I'm going to get rid of COVID. We're going to lock down. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Biden lied to America and told them that he could control COVID and end it. But 2-3 years into... Listen, what I'm telling you.
What did you say, Ghost?
Biden...
No, Brandon, I'm gonna give you a little context of what you were saying. In context, he literally said when he first said it, "Oh, it's not the big deal," right? There's literally hundreds of clips of him saying, "Oh, this is not a big deal."
I remember that.
Not an issue, right? And then as COVID got more exposed, then he said, "Oh, well, you know what? I think we need to start doing something about COVID." That's when people started flipping.
Do you realize that we can pull up video today of Anthony Fauci saying COVID was not a big deal. It would just give you maybe a cough, a little fever, and you would get over it. Trump was going based on what Anthony Fauci, who is the health person for the whole country, was saying. But once Trump realized Anthony Fauci was lying and he wanted to fire Anthony Fauci, listen, nobody has a more personal experience with this than me.
Was Fauci lying or was
Fauci was lying. Fauci was lying.
No.
Everybody know Fauci was lying. This is proven fact by now. But let me tell you this, Dynast, I was sitting in Frankfurt, Germany, coming back from Kenya. They said, excuse me, Mr. Tucker, look, they came to me. I was sitting in the terminal ready to leave. They came to me. They said, look, Donald Trump has banned all flights from Europe and China from coming into the United States of America. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to send you to Canada, and we're going to get you on a flight from Canada into the United States of America. When Donald Trump knew that COVID was more than just a cough and a fever like Anthony Fauci lied and said because he was paid off by the World Health Organization and China, Donald Trump banned all flights from all countries that had a high rate of transmission from COVID. Do you know that we called Donald Trump a racist for doing that until he capitulated and opened up flights from those countries again? Donald Trump did the one thing that could have saved America from COVID. But we got on the racist stuff. He's a racist because MSNBC started saying that. Also, China and other countries in Europe operated very disingenuously with America by flying people into Canada, then flying them over into the United States, which was they purposely found a workaround for the restriction by going into Canada, then the United States. These people committed high crimes against the American government and the American people, but the person who's getting blamed for that is Donald Trump. He tried to protect you. You wouldn't let him. So don't blame him.
That's not
well, no, so hold on. So real quick, and FBI.
Tell me what I said was a lie. Tell me what part of what I said was a lie.
I'm gonna tell you. So one, the European nation states have no control over a passenger seeking wanting to fly to Canada and then fly to America. They don't have control over that.
Okay, so what you're doing? So what you're doing is being disingenuous because listen. Let me tell you, Lumumba, you're very intelligent, but right now you're putting your mind in your back pocket. When I was sitting in Frankfurt, I never even thought about going to Canada and then getting into the United States because I didn't know the rules. The airlines knew the rules before anybody did, and you know the airlines, corporations figured out workarounds and still sent infected people into America. I was there when the Chinese Border Patrol person body slammed a white dude who was getting pissy because he had to go to a wedding in Arizona. And the guy was like, wait, you been to what part of Italy? He said, oh, I've been in the mountains of Italy skiing. The dude was like, you have to go this way. You're going to go into quarantine for 30 days. The white guy, no, I'm not this and that. His wife tried to stop him. I never seen a Chinese person body slam a white person like that in public. The dude grabbed this motherfucker, damn near lifted him over his head and slammed his ass and said, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. Now get your ass over there. They dragged this dude in handcuffs into that little quarantine space. But then people saw that and they started lying. Where are you coming from? This place. Where did you go? Did you go here? No, I didn't.
So
people just started lying.
Because you just stated the end of the people started lying, not the country. So
the people who sent the people.
Don't cut me off. Was it the country, the corporation, or the individual people?
These are Negro stalling tactics. The country sent them. Listen, how does the guy get to Canada without the airline taking him there? How does the guy get to Canada without the airline saying, look, we're going to change your ticket from where you want to leave from and go to this different place and get you in anyway? So the corporations.
Is it the corporation? Because first you said it was the countries. You didn't say it was the corporations. First you said it was
it's the country too. The country controls the airlines.
Okay.
Who controls the airport?
Man, then you're moving.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Who controls? Listen. Who controls the Listen, that's fine. Who controls an international airport? Who controls airspace in their country? The country does. So if the country was allowing these airlines to fly people into Canada, knowing that they were flying them from Canada into the United States, if Canada was allowing people to fly from Canada into the United States with full awareness that these people came from places that were banned, where flight was banned, where entry was banned from into the United States, that means they all committed high crimes against the United States. And what we know about Canada, if you watch the news, Canada is quickly becoming a totalitarian state. So they were all on board with COVID.
You say Trump was being accused of being a racist, right? And that he bended to what? The public's will. Well, I mean, if he's supposed to stand 10 toes down and be the man that he says he is, and make decisions based on the courage of his convictions.
There is nothing that you can say.
He didn't have a clear concern. He didn't have a clear concern about being seen as racist.
There is nothing you can.
Travel ban.
There is nothing. Everything you're saying is speculation.
No, it's not.
Everything. Yes, it is. Listen, everything I've said is fact. There is not one person on this panel or on earth who can deny, who could say or prove I'm a liar, because I'm going based on the facts.
As well. When you say he has to do this, if he has the gumption, if he has the courage of his convictions to create a travel ban, banning people who come from who have a particular religion and come from predominantly Muslim nations, then he can have the courage of his convictions to do something.
Listen, this is what you fail to understand. If Trump is the president, he was the president, he's the servant of the American people. If you say something to try to protect the American people from themselves and they tell you you're a racist, we want them in here, don't try to stop them, who is he to deny us what we want? And guess what? 3 years later,
he did it with sending federal troops to the border. This is the man who's always acting on what he wants to do.
America was over
that with the
America was over.
People call him a big bigot. People call him Islamophobic. People call him sexist.
America
it didn't change anything. It didn't change his behavior.
If you do the research, America is overwhelmingly in support of the border being secure. Biden now
was being accused of being racist and all this type of stuff.
Oh yeah, he was. Anyway. Remember the kids in cages? Remember the kids in cages that Obama put in cages that Trump got blamed for?
Yeah.
Oh, America
is doing it now.
America is that's why its poll numbers are low. That's why every group that voted for him, his support is down.
Biden does it because he's a
every group in America except for blacks, they are pulling support from Biden. His support is dropping astronomically. The only group that's still supporting Biden in the 80% range is blacks, which shows that we're not even abreast of what's going on. And that's why when I tell you, when these people argue with me, that you can tell they're disingenuous because they're too lazy to actually go find the facts, but then they try to level an emotional argument against the facts. You didn't even know what Trump had done for the black community. Now you're going to tell me what you're going to tell me about what I researched. What I researched
of the HBCUs. I was aware of the criminal justice reform. Right?
Lumumba,
I told you that.
Okay. Right? But what I'm telling you is I'm a person who supported Trump,
the reason why I ask that question is because when somebody makes a claim, I want to see if I do this with everyone, my own damn parents. I asked them, can you provide an example? Because I want to see if the person can substantiate.
And I gave you an example. I gave you factual.
And what did I say? I said thank you.
I gave and even with the other countries sneaking people into America, I gave you an example. Okay, Dynas, do you remember when Trump was giving a speech and he presented on the projector the timeline of his COVID response? And do you remember when all the mainstream media outlets, they said, we're not even going to play that. We're not going to sit here while Trump makes up lies. Do you remember that, Dynas?
I don't. I didn't watch that speech.
They literally pulled this feed down before Trump did the timeline of his COVID response to prove that everyone who said Trump responded to COVID horribly was a liar. Now, why would mainstream corporate media, other than I think even Fox News pulled it down, why would mainstream corporate media take down a feed where the president is about to this is the president, when they'll freaking override a basketball game, the championship, for the president to speak. When the president was about to show you his COVID response timeline, they took that down. That's why Trump was smart in this latest CNN.
And real quick, we know that this is based on what? Polarized politics, right?
They just, yeah, quick, it's bipartisan.
Raheem, hold on. Raheem, I'm not a Democrat. I don't love Democrats. I haven't voted for Democrats.
Listen, bro, you don't have to explain yourself to this dude. We're making factual points. If that asshole wants to get an answer, he should come up here. He had the link. What I'm telling you is this. Trump was smart in the CNN town hall. He put his shit on a piece of paper. He did that because he know he can't trust them to put a projector up. And when he pulled out his piece of paper, everybody all over the world was clowning CNN and was like, look, Trump destroyed him. Trump got on CNN and destroyed CNN, all the false narratives that they tried to project. It's so amazing to me how the black people who always got a damn conspiracy and this general distrust of the government believes everything the government says when they're going against Trump. But if they go against anybody else, oh, they lying, it's a conspiracy. The people who believe in freaking young Pharaoh, Dynas, Negroes who follow young Pharaoh all of a sudden are like, no, the government is totally trustworthy when it comes to Trump. Wait a minute. 50 national security agents, 50 FBI and CIA.
It sounds like you believe Trump does everything right.
50 no one does everything right. 50 CIA agents, security intelligence and security agents came out and said Hunter Biden's laptop was a Russian plant. It was a hoax. It was fake. Now we realized it was real. So we know we know this at the very least. When Trump is involved, the United States government cannot be trusted because they are trying to weaponize the law enforcement entities of this country against Trump. They are literally trying to use law enforcement to wage political war against Donald Trump. This is 100% facts. Let me just ask a quick question of everybody. I'm gonna shut up. I'm not gonna say nothing. Lumumba, would you or would you not say that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, to an extent, are weaponizing our law enforcement and our legal system against Trump to prevent him from running in 2024?
I cannot conclusively say yes or no.
Okay, Dynas, would you or would you not say that the Democratic Party and some Republicans in name only are weaponizing the legal system against Trump to prevent him from running?
Absolutely. It's a witch hunt. Absolutely.
Original man, same question. Would you or would you not say that the Democrats and some Republicans are using the law enforcement and legal system to do a witch hunt against Trump to prevent him from running in 2024?
They don't want him to run again.
Why do you think that is, guys? Why do you think that is? These people who have sold you out beyond the ability to sell you out. They've sold you out in every area. Why do you think they don't want this guy to run? Because maybe he was helping you. Maybe he was trying to look out for the American people.
I don't think it was because he was because.
So why is it, Lumumba? Why is it? Why is it? Okay.
Hold on. Hold on. You asked me a question. You gonna let me answer?
Okay. Go ahead.
I believe the reason why they don't like Trump is because he isn't paid and he isn't bought like most politicians are, and he marches to the beat of his own drum, and he does things that are oftentimes counterintuitive to what the Democrat and Republican parties think are right. For example, and this is something I agreed with Trump on as someone who's a veteran. Trump talked about, well, giving all these aid to these other countries, they're using us financially. Trump talked about when he was in office that we should not be engaging in all these proxy wars or wars of trying to be the world police. These are things I agree with, but we know many of these politicians are in bed with particular lobbyists in which they support these wars for numerous reasons, right? One would be what? A guaranteed contract, Halliburton, right? We're talking about things of that nature. So I would argue that it goes far beyond just black people.
So do you want the president who's bought and paid for, like Biden? They just found all types of stuff where Biden took all these millions from China, or the president who can't be bought? I would want the president who can't be bought.
Let me answer the question. One, I think I wouldn't argue that he can't be bought because we know his finances are in tethers. So the argument that he can't be bought, I think, is disingenuous because we know he owes a lot of money to the Russians. Number two, no, I don't want Biden for a number of reasons. What you mentioned is one of them, and I did not vote for Biden.
How much money does he owe to the Russians?
I can't give you an exact figure.
Nobody can, because that's just bull crap.
Yeah,
We got proof. We got proof and evidence that these people are trying to go against Trump to keep him from voting. But we don't. But we got all these speculations. He owed money to the Russians, but I can't provide you any proof of that. All that type of stuff. These are things that are just said to make Trump look bad. Let me tell you why. Wait. Let me tell you, Lumumba.
Trying to dominate the conversation, right?
No.
I'm gonna get a word in edgewise.
You can.
Right?
Go ahead.
For example, and as someone who was in the military, someone who worked in headquarters my last year in the service, many would argue that Putin's actions threaten the United States, America, and its allies and benefits. Now, I would argue that the war in Ukraine was provoked by the United States, but we have seen that Trump has shown an affection for totalitarian heads of state, particularly the head of state of North Korea. Of course, we're looking at Putin and Russia as well. So Trump has you mentioned that Canada.
He showed affection. How so?
Hold on. Let me finish. You mentioned that Trump showed. You mentioned that Canada is becoming a totalitarian state. However, Trump has talked about and mentioned. I've heard him say this verbatim that he wished that he would like to be president for life. So that isn't ushering in, or at least inferring that you would believe in a totalitarian type of government. I don't know what. And these are things that he stated. So
Trump is being honest with you. You want to be lied to? That's your own business.
No, I'm not being. I never said anything about being.
Trump just says things that people don't like to hear. You think Biden, bro? You don't think Biden wants to be president for life? This dude's 80-some years old and could barely even see straight, and he's still trying to run. That's the nature of power.
First off, we need to stop the dichotomy with Biden, because I'm not a Biden supporter, and I'm
Listen,
not a Democrat.
What I'm telling you, I didn't bring up Biden.
Every time I make a statement about Trump, you keep trying to deflect the Biden.
I'm not bringing up Biden. Listen,
I have not.
I bring up Biden.
And I have not voted Democrat.
Well, then you're not a participant. You're not a participant.
That's not true. I said I haven't voted Democrat. I never said I don't vote.
Dynas, can I show you the one thing that Trump just recently said that should get every black person to support Trump across the board? Let me show you this. This one, I don't listen. You could look. Trump could be a dictator. I don't care. What I'm telling you is this one statement Trump made, his honesty in this answer right here. I would support Trump for the next 3 elections just for this alone.
Anselm. He's a member of College Republicans. He's an undeclared voter right now who supported you in 2020. Bobby, what's your question for President Trump?
Hi, thank you for coming. This is a bit of a pivot, but with gun violence and mass shootings in the news cycle recently, I'm worried that state governments and the federal government are going to act to repress gun rights. Under your administration, you instructed the Department of Justice and the ATF to ban bump stocks. If elected president again, how would you act not only to defend our Second Amendment rights, but to restore rights that have been taken from us, such as, by example, recently the ATF's ruling on the pistol stabilizing braces?
Yeah, as you know, the bump stocks are actually a very unimportant thing. And NRA, I went with them and they said it doesn't mean anything. Or actually, all they do is teach you how to shoot very inaccurately. So we did that. There's been nobody that's protected the Second Amendment, as you know, like I have. I protected it through thick and thin, not easy to do. But we have a very big mental health problem in this country. And health problem in this country. And mental health problem in this country. Mental health problem in this country.
That is the one area that no Democrat or Republican wants to address. They want to try to criminalize, they want to try to focus on the act that's being committed, but they refuse to acknowledge that the mental health issue is really driving a lot of this crime, a lot of this homelessness, a lot of the issues that are hurting the black community the most. We are overrepresented in the homeless population. And because why?
Because of mental health issues?
Yes! I live in LA. You can't tell me about homelessness. I worked on Skid Row for 2 years. I just was on Skid Row.
I done deal with
Dynas, did you see my video? Dynas, did you see my video where I jumped out of my car in the middle of Skid Row? This was about a week and a half ago. Did you see my video?
I worked on Skid Row from 2009 to before I left LA 2014. So it is a lot of mental health issues.
Most of it is mental health. That is the first president you heard ever say, look, we got a serious problem with mental health, bro. Yes, the gun debate is political, but the mental health issue, that is bipartisan. That goes across partisan lines.
Okay.
Because
so when he was in office, what did he do to address this issue?
The mental health issue?
Yes.
He didn't do anything to address the mental health issue because that's not what. Wait a minute. See, this is what I'm keep telling you. You want to look at he didn't do nothing back then. Nobody is bringing this stuff to him. Now people
bring something to him. He the president. He can do it himself.
So he supposed to.
Okay, so now Okay, so now Ice Cube already had a plan for Black America. So now let's just say moving forward, somebody else has a plan for Black America. Do you think we should have somebody more reputable? I know Ice Cube meant well, but do you think we should have somebody more reputable have a plan for Black America?
There's no one. Listen, what does reputation mean, bro? The most reputable people
like
in the world,
like Dr. Claude Anderson, who's been in the trenches for decades.
Claude Anderson could have did it. He don't want to. Claude Anderson is on the Negro. Claude Anderson is on the Negro trauma chitlin circuit. He's making his money doing his thing. He could have brought this up. He chose not to. I'm gonna go with who's taking the steps. Damn what Negroes think is reputable or whatever, because we don't have a good judgment on who's reputable or not. All we respect is money. That's it. That's all we care about. All right, man. Okay, name one person.
The reason why is because you're making statements about an entire demographic group of people. That's disingenuous. You can't generalize like that.
We have Black people right in Capitol Hill as senators, congressmen, all that. We got celebrities who got Joe Biden on speed dial. We got them. They don't want to do it, so I'm going to support whoever's willing to do it. Y'all could go wait for the perfect person. But guess what we know as 4 grown-ass men up here? There are no perfect people. You can find fault in everybody. Sometimes what you need comes from a place you didn't expect it. We know that. We know that. We just don't want to accept it because we want to be up under the white man's nuts so bad. The one thing that remains if we listen to you guys is that we get to stay comfortably under the white man's nut. That's all I know.
Excuse me?
You heard I didn't speak Spanish. I
know you're not talking about me.
No, I'm not saying nothing about you personally. I'm saying the one thing we know for a fact, if we keep asking these silly ass questions, is that nothing's gonna change. But if we at least move, just go in any direction, as long as you're moving forward, as long as you're moving, period. We're not moving. We're sitting still and still asking dumbass questions.
There are people in our community who are moving forward, and there are people in our community who are not.
Name them.
I'm talking to. I don't know original man, but I'm talking to three of them. I know are on this call right now. Dynast, me, and yourself.
Let me ask Dynast a question. Dynast, let me ask you this: were plane flights to Africa cheaper under Trump or Biden?
Trump, by far.
So guess what? For me, that alone is enough to support Trump. Because I can do what I'm doing, my progressive movements are easier under Trump. You know O'Shea, who's right here in Uganda with me, anybody doing work in Africa, do you know that when things are not stable, like the stability that Trump created for the first almost 3 years of his presidency, that helps us all help our people. But when shit is chaotic, like right now, where we don't know who's going to bomb who and who is going to try to do what, it hurts us from helping our people. So what I argue for is stability. That's what I argue for. I was making more money under Donald Trump. That means I can give more money to my people to help them and do what I got to do. It's not even an argument at this point.
Attorney Dennis Sperling said he was paying a lot less taxes under Trump than he did under Obama.
We all were. And I don't know why Black people refuse to just admit that. We were doing better economically under Trump. Do you want to do better economically, or do you want to sit up and fight for men to go into little girls' restrooms, for young kids to mutilate their genitals? Stupid stuff that don't even mean nothing. That's what Black people are fighting for now in the street, arguing for.
I will argue. I will say this much. I tend to see other racial groups of people fighting more for that than Black people. Now, there are some Black people. Hold on, there are some Black people who jumped on the Democratic bandwagon sort of supporting that type of stuff.
What I'm telling you is,
but you know, hold on. But this is the issue I have with you, Brandon. That you're making some bombastic claims that we know that unfortunately That is not a pertinent political agenda for Black people in America. That is not.
Man, listen, what I'm trying to tell you.
I gotta push back some. So Joe Biden said his two major initiatives were immigration and the LG priorities.
I agree with that. That's a fact.
But then the majority of Black people, who do they vote for?
Right, but Black people voted for him not because they voted. Black people voted for them because they're politically immature and they always vote for Democrat. That's why Black people didn't vote for him because Black people in mass support the LGBTQ community and what they're doing, and of course immigration. So that's what I'm saying. You're being intellectually disingenuous.
I'm Democrat. I'm not being disingenuous. I have a daughter. I don't want a man to be in the bathroom with her with an intact. Okay, so that's enough reason right there. Listen. What I'm telling you, it don't matter what Black people support and don't support. What I'm telling you is Black people are supporting a party that champions that crap. You could say whatever you want to. It means nothing. Black people voted 90% for a president who made transgender rights an issue over every Black issue. Dynast, Chrissy, Original Man. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
I will vote for anybody other than him. And the best chance of getting him out is Donald Trump. That's who I'm voting for.
No matter what
the best chance of getting that guy out is Donald Trump. Therefore that's who I'm supporting.
All I'm saying is this. Black people, unfortunately in America, vote 85 to 90% Democrat, no matter who the Democratic candidate for president is, and irrespective of what he says his agenda is. So the statement that I'm making is this. The reason why Black people voted in that larger number is not due to that they support those issues, but due to their political their lack of political intelligence.
I don't care what you say. If you don't vote for Trump in this next election, you support all that homosexual, transgender stuff, and I'll never and you could say anything you want. I'll never believe you because it's not a man's actions; it's his words. Negroes be like, I don't support that. Then go vote for the guy who champions it. No.
Actions is what matters.
Yeah, and I'm going off actions. Dynast. Who supports transgender men taking over women's sports and men who are intact going in bathrooms with little girls? Which presidential candidates support that?
Democrat.
I'm voting for the other guy. The guy who right now the polls are showing has the best chance of beating Biden. If you don't vote for him, you support all that shit down the line, and I don't want to hear nothing else.
But once again, hold on. It's about what you do, not what you say. So you're damn it. Everybody on the panel would disagree with you there. What you do is what matters, not what you say.
Right. Let me pass it to Chrissy. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm just been listening back and forth, and poor Brandon, you're about to give yourself high blood pressure trying to make these points, but you're making good points. But it's like talking to a brick wall. Even just reading through the comments, we're so busy worried about who likes Black people instead of being able to be objective, stop all this emotional crap, and focus on what are the policies that this person's bringing to the table. Where do we benefit the most? We're not interested in that whatsoever. It's all about emotionalism, who accepts me, who makes me feel good, and the world can go to hell in a handbasket. That doesn't matter. This, how Brandon, everything you said was on point. It's very logical, very objective, non-emotional, just straight facts that I'm aware of. And this whole like back and forth with Black folk about what's in our best interest, that apparently we don't know what's in our best interest, is over, because I saw a video of people over the the border, running like The Walking Dead was running behind them to get into this country. And all of this back and forth and emotionalism with Black people is finished. These conversations are done. Black people being a factor is finished, because we just have not shown that we can really come to the table as adults and really negotiate and talk about what's in our best interest and bring forth strategy. That's why we get the guy who has the saxophone. That's why we get, Obama with the Southern cadence. That's why, we get no voting, no vucking, the Cardi B, because we are seen as very immature, because we are immature. We've proven it time and time again, and we've even proven it here. and it's just very, very unfortunate. But this is why we will never be taken seriously. And if I was on the outside, I wouldn't take us seriously either, because when you have one voice that is logical, it's like Brandon, like you're the weirdo, and everybody, it's like the truth is weird, and then what's not true and what's emotional is like the norm, and no one has time for that. The world is changing, the demographic dynamics are changing. We have Great Reset coming up. Nobody has time for Black people and their nonsense no more. So it's a wrap. And as my father would say, who cannot hear will definitely feel. So when we start feeling, maybe then we'll put down emotions, pick up logic, and move forward that way. That's it.
Trump was good. I can't read your whole screen name. I need you to turn your camera on so I can see who you are first. You're waiting in the back room, in the waiting room, and you just turn your camera on first. Okay, all right. Afro Diaspora News, go ahead.
Big up, family. Big up to the whole panel. And just to be very brief, really, I just called to suggest that African Americans, matter of fact, I love Dynasty Amir and brother Brandon for what they are doing as far as being active in different countries, buying real estate in Africa. Literally, that's all I came up to suggest. We as African Americans, we can buy real estate, and we must buy real estate. And some of us are already buying real estate in the Caribbean, in Latin America, and in Africa and Asia as well. So since some of us don't like the state of affairs in the U.S., there are other places where we could take our U.S. currency and live like royalty, literally. But big up, Diners. Thanks for having me up.
Oh, man, no problem at all. So we'll go ahead and close out. Brandon, anything else you'd like to share in closing? You can't hear you. We can't hear you, Brandon. Muted.
The only thing, Dinus, the only thing I want to share in closing is this right here. This is the guy that you guys are sitting up trying to mince words like mincemeat over when it comes to just getting this guy out of office. Donald Trump's getting my vote because he's the best chance to get this guy out. This is the guy. When you sit up and talk against Trump, you're defending this guy, because if Trump doesn't get elected, this is who you're getting. The Democrats have already said they're not even going to let this guy do primaries or debates. So he's already the candidate. Do you understand? There's not going to be some Democratic savior from the left that's going to come put him out and take over everything. They've already said this is their guy. Whatever he's doing now, that's what you're getting for 4 more years. So your only chance at changing this is Trump. So if you're like, no, Brandon, but this and that, and the wall paint ain't dried and all that shit, all you're doing is you're caping for this guy, and I want you to hear what he says.
I also hope Congress will get to my desk the Equality Act to protect LGBTQ Americans.
Not reparations.
For all transgender Americans watching at home, especially young people, you're so brave. I want you to know your president has your back. Another thing, let's authorize the Violence Against Women Act, which has been law for 27 years.
Right there, Dinus, he just told you what's his priority. Trans people make up less than 1% of the population. Black people literally put this man in office, voted for him at 90%, and he's not even thinking about you. And he's trying to get your kids, done dirty by people who are TS, whatever. I'm not going to say the word.
Nothing for black folks.
Nothing. This is less than 1 minute.
27 years ago, I wrote it. It'll close the act that has to be authorized now. Will close the boyfriend loophole to keep guns out of the hands of abusers. The court order said this is an abuser. You can't own a gun. It's to close that loophole that existed. It's estimated that 50 women are shot and killed by an intimate partner every month in America.
So basically, that's all I want to say. But basically, if you and your girl get in an argument and they say something like they did my uncle, you were arguing in front of your kids. That's domestic violence. You no longer get to own a gun. That's dumb shit. That's what he's into. The guy's trying to slowly but surely take away your ability to control your own life. And I have Lumumba saying, oh, Trump is comfortable with dictators. This guy is a dictator. No dictator wants you to be able to keep your gun rights. That's the first thing. So when you say Trump, he wants to be a dictator, he wants to be president for life, what dictator on earth, Dinus, champions you keeping your guns? Can anybody answer that for me? What dictator says, I want the population to stay armed? None. What we have to do is understand that some people, their mind is just so contrarian that they can't just walk in a straight line to something that benefit them. And it doesn't matter your level of education. This is why I cursed my daughter's teacher out last year, because she thinks because she has a degree, she somehow knows what's best for everybody. These people are indoctrinated. That's why they sit up and argue against logic and common sense. This is what you're going to get. You vote against Trump. Oh, I don't like Trump and all this. Damn what you like. Do you want transgenders in the bathroom with your kids? Do you want to lose your gun rights? Do you want to keep sending money to Ukraine and paying their bill to fight a war? If you don't, do you want mentally ill people to keep running the streets, attacking you on the street? Do you want people to keep being able to burn down everything in your neighborhood to where you got to drive 5 miles over to get a prescription?
Not common. Sense is not common.
That's what I'm saying. It's common sense. How do we argue common sense?
It's not common because people don't have any goddamn sense in America.
I'm done. Nime Maliza.
All right, y'all. So, hey, listen, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, search for Haru. Peace.